that word mean? Hi everyone, Kev here from Busybird Publishing. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on supplying images for books. It's a hard thing for some people to get their head around. What that means is people, if they're working on a cover or they're putting images in their books, they have to supply me, the designer, with files that I can use. Sometimes I use them for covers, sometimes I use them for internals, whatever they are. A lot of people will take files off the internet. That's fine if you've got copyright and you know you can use them. Some people get given them or they scan or whatever. And I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on what the file size means and what I need. You'll see that I'll give you a quick rundown on 3 different types of files and the difference between kilobytes and megabytes and things like that. So have a look. If you have any questions at the end of this, please give me a call or email me at Busybird Publishing, kev@busybird.com.au, and I'll answer any more questions. But this might give you a little bit of a help, just this quick little tutorial. If not, yeah, let me know and we'll sort it out. But yeah, we need to get our images right so that they're not pixely and fuzzy and things like that. So yeah, let's have a look at my little presentation. Alrighty. We're going to look at how to find photos on the internet or photos that we can maybe use, and just have a look at how they can be resized once you get them to me. A lot of people supply me with images that are just too low. Now here we've just done a Google search just randomly on Nepal, and if you have a look, there's lots of photos there that you can probably use. But if you actually, this is on a Mac, but on a PC there's probably a way of seeing it as well. But if you scroll over the images, you can actually see the pixel resolution of them. That probably means nothing to most of you, but if you can actually go into a sorting filter, and I've sorted it larger than 4 megs. So that means any images that are larger than 4 megabytes, which will help me out, because anything smaller than that I probably can't use. Now we've just picked one here of the main stupa in Kathmandu. I actually went there, so I actually know where it is. So once you find the image, you know it's going to be roughly a good size, so you can click on it, you can save it to your desktop. As you see, it's saved over there to the right of my desktop down the bottom. You can then drag it into Photoshop, or if you have Photoshop, but I'm just showing you how we can look at the image size, but I'll show you as well how you can do it without Photoshop. So if we look at the image size here in Photoshop, you can see that it's come in at a large megabyte. MB means megabyte, so we need that, not KB as kilobyte, we need megabytes. It's come in at 72 dpi, which is screen resolution. 72 is screen resolution. Now, we can change that to 300, but we can't just change it. We actually have to make the file size about the same size, or it will just go pixely. So we look at the linked dimensions, and we just make the largest dimension smaller and try and match the file size back to the way it came in. So we're really trying to make the sizes a little bit smaller, just so that we get our file sizes the same here. As you can see, they're roughly getting the same. So we know that at 300 dpi there, our centimeters or our dimensions are correct. So that image now is 300 dpi. It was 72, but it's 300, and it will work now. We can actually use that on a cover of your book or inside the book or anything like that. So if we re-bring that into Photoshop just to check it, it's come back in as 300 dpi and a decent dimensions. That's the actual size it will print in a book at 300 dpi. Now I've saved 3 different images here of photos I took in Nepal. I have small, medium and large. So what I want to do is just, if you do have images off the net or someone's given you images, you can actually just select one. You can then go get info or properties, and we can have a look at the actual size of the actual file. So if we see here, this one is kilobytes. Now, KB is kilobytes. They're actually a megabyte broken down into 100 different little bits. So kilobytes, we don't want. We want MBs, megabytes. And if you can see there, they go from anywhere from 5 megabytes up to like 20 odd megabytes, which is what we need. But these kilobytes, people supply me images all the time in kilobytes, and I know they are just going to be 72 DPI, really small and unusable. I can't convert that to a 300 DPI, and I'll show you that in a sec. Let's just close these here, and what I'll do is I'll actually open the smaller one, and let's have a look at it. Alright, so it's kilobytes. Remember that, it's kilobytes, so I know it's going to be small. So we'll actually have a look at that one. We'll drag that one into Photoshop. Let's have a look how it comes in. It comes in quite small, as you can see, because it's kilobytes. Now if we open it up, it'll be 72 DPI, which is screen resolution, not print resolution. So if we click on that and make it 300, we're trying to make our file sizes the same, as I said. Now it was only 1 point something meg, and now we have to make our sizes smaller to try and match it. So unfortunately, it can only be 3 centimeters by 300 DPI, and if we blow that up any more than 3 centimeters, look how unusable it is. It's just too fuzzy. We can't use it. There's nothing I can do to this image to make it usable in a book, unfortunately. It's just way too small. Now if we have a look at the other ones, the medium one, if we bring it in, that one comes in at, it still comes in at 72 DPI, but we have a lot more kind of file size to work with. So if I actually can change the resolution back up to 300, our file goes a lot bigger, so we have to make our dimensions smaller. So let's just bring it down again here. We can bring this down, down, down until we kind of match them. Alright, so let's go here. It's exactly the same here. I'll just make it a little bit smaller just so you can actually see that there's a difference. So now we have 10 to 11. So basically roughly about the same. They're going to be usable, and we're looking at 20 something centimeters in width. So that'll easily fit onto a cover. And if we actually zoom in and have a look at this, we can actually see that it is still beautifully detailed. And this is just off the medium one. So this came off, just a medium size file, but we can convert it up to 300 without a loss of image. And now this is the large one. Of course, we are way too much here. I'm going to probably have to scale this one down to if I was going to use it for a cover. It is coming at 300 DPI at a massive kind of centimeter dimension. Perfectly detailed, of course. So these are our 3, small, medium and large. Remember, kilobytes. We do not want kilobytes here. So if you supply me any images that are in kilobytes, I cannot convert them up to 300 DPI or use them. So there we go. Thank you. Did you know?
Did you know that we produce a little anthology of short stories called Untitled? This was actually our very first publication about 10 years ago. So we are now up to, we've done 7 issues altogether, and we're going to be open submissions on the 3rd of September, closing the 31st of October for short stories. So if you have any short stories, keep an eye out for that being open so that you can submit your short stories and get published in our next edition. Thanks.
This is the Joffa you know. Bogan. Loudmouth. Typical Collingwood hooligan. That's the Joffa usually conveyed in the media, but did you know? Joffa came from an abusive household. That Joffa was homeless at 14. That Joffa credits the community of weekly football as saving his life. Or did you know Joffa's daughter is epileptic? Or that he volunteers for the Epilepsy Foundation and Hepatitis Victoria, RecLink, and Footies for All? And that he works for the Salvation Army as an after-hours support worker, helping with the homeless. There's a lot you don't know about Joffa. Read Joffa's story now in Joffa, Isn't That Life? A portion of the proceeds go to the Epilepsy Foundation.
I'm well, thank you. Yeah.
So you're writing a book.
Yeah.
What's it going to be about?
Well, it's going to be about a guy at the football called Joffa, and a lot of people don't know who Joffa is. I'm talking in the third person here, please forgive me. He's very much stereotyped because his affiliation with Collingwood, being a Collingwood supporter. But I'd like to think there's a bit of a story here about myself, which might touch a lot of other people, and that's homeless people, people with drug dependency, alcohol dependency, people who have had a rough upbringing at home, people who were young once, found themselves on the streets of Melbourne trying to survive, and then, because I fell in love with a football club from Abbotsford called Collingwood. When I was homeless on the streets of Melbourne, I had to make a decision on where my life was going to go from that point. I mean, because of the people I associated with, it would have been very easy to have fallen into a life of petty crime and maybe boys' homes, boys' detention centres. And that would mean that I wouldn't have been able to go to see Collingwood play every week. So I didn't want that. I loved going to Victoria Park and watching the Pies play. So I had to keep out of trouble, and that was a daily challenge because still supporting Collingwood, and eventually coming across a bloke called Eddie Maguire who would give me a gold jacket, and the wonderful journey with the Collingwood Football Club.
And what does epilepsy have to do with this book?
Oh, absolutely, brilliant. Epilepsy, my daughter has epilepsy. Yeah, so living with somebody with epilepsy is quite confronting because of the nature of the illness. It's, you could get head bleeds, nose, tongue, lip, from the crash bang of having a tonic-clonic seizure. But the worry is not, there's virtually no worry in the household. It's when they're out on their own in the public arena. They could be at the beach. You have a seizure at the beach and you drown and die. They could be at a railway station. And it's more common than what we realise. There are, I think, 50 million people worldwide suffer epilepsy. And a lot of people don't say they have epilepsy because they find the stigma too much to handle, so they hide it.
Any of the money that we raised for epilepsy, what would you hope that it would get used for?
Oh, that'll be used for all sorts of programs within the Epilepsy Foundation, counselling programs, all sorts of things. But I think that the basic message will be, and a very important message will be the 7 or 8 steps on first aid seizure when someone's having a seizure, because if you're in public and you see someone having a seizure, you'll know what to do. Yeah. There's no Einstein stuff to look after people. It's basic first aid. Yeah. And I'm really pleased to be able to put that in the book so people can learn up on it. And if you're on a train or a tram someplace, wherever, and see somebody having a seizure, they can be with them.
Hi everyone, Blaze here at Busybird Publishing. We have some new books that have just come in, so hot off the press. We have Same, Same But Different by Marie Antoinette Hallou, and that is about mental health, so that is hot off the press. And then we have Conscientious Objection. Can you see that? A Personal Story by Jeffrey Sandy. So it just shows the variety that we have. This one is a sort of like a little mini memoir about Jeffrey Sandy's his opinions, I guess, about Vietnam War. And this is a self-help book. So, hot off the press. Hi guys, so we have just set our dates for the rest of our program for the rest of the year, all the way up to December. We have got lots of great workshops. We have publishing options, so if you're wondering what to do with your book, whether to go self-publishing or traditional publishing, this is a great one to work out the best route for you. We have life writing, so if you're writing a memoir or even if you're writing a non-fiction book but there's an element of life writing in it, that's a really good workshop. We actually have a 10-week session called Your Right Time at Busybird Publishing, and that is so that you can come into our studio and write. So it's a very dedicated time, 10 weeks in a row on a Monday. We also have our regular Publish for Profit, which is on the first Wednesday of the month. And we have quite a few great topics which will help you with your publishing and your writing. Topics such as write a book synopsis, your book pitch, get more reader reviews, blogging for writers, and metadata for books. We also have a weekend-long book camp. So that is going to help you write and publish your book. So the whole weekend we're going to be working intensively on how to get your book ready, written and ready for publication. And we have our writing retreat, which is a little bit more special. That's at Carmacking Lake in August. And the early bird for that finishes on the 20th of July. So all of these workshops with all of the content, all the details about it and prices are on our website. Thanks.
Did you know?
Hi everyone, Blaze here at Busybird Publishing. Did you know that we can help you through the book writing? Some people have an idea about a book, they may have actually written some of it, some people even might have 20,000 words and they feel really lost. So we can actually help you or coach you through the book idea, and we actually have a 16-week Write to Publish program. That includes full one-on-one mentoring as well as a publishing package. So that is something that is very useful to you if you are wanting to get a book written and published in a reasonable amount of time, unlike 5 years or 10 years, which seems to be sort of how long some people have been working on their product and just feel like it's not going anywhere. So just remember, book coaching or book mentoring, whatever you need. You might just need a 1-hour session with me or someone here at Busybird, or you might want help with the whole process.